I was glad I was where I was at. Artillery would be safer than any part of the service, most, you know.
Yes, sir.
Until we was connected with the French Armored, and then we went ahead of everybody. We're supposed to be in the back. You know, the ship we went over there on was a Dominion Monarch. That was an English ship. All we had to eat was fish. And he carried us over there, and he was coming back after another load, and the torpedoes got him. It'd taken us 7 days, I believe it was, or 17, to get over there because we was going this way, and then we'd go that way, and then we'd go this way, just trying to keep the torpedoes guessing, you know. And it was, well, I guess there was over 200 ships in that one convoy going to England. And we kept a prisoner camp in England. We landed in Liverpool and went to the service camp. And we took care of that camp till we went till D-Day. And the day before D-Day, we went and put all of our stuff on the ship. And trucks, the bottom of that ship was just like a big parking deck, you know. You put your guns and your trucks and all of that in there. And they was, had heavy grease on the plugs, on the, anything that would be affected with water, you know, carburetor, and so on. And extended the exhaust pipe up 4 feet. So we drove them off of the truck into the water, you know, when we got to France. And then drove them out. Of course, there was bodies floating in the truck that you'd have to push out, you know. And because the water was just, you could nearly walk over bodies in the water, you know. But this was the second day of the battle that we landed. And of course, everybody that landed the first day was still laying on the beach. And we had a bulldozer that on a tank that would push them off to the side where we could drive through. You know, you didn't want to run over them. And but then we moved on out from there. Oh, why, right. They had a building that all of the mail went to, and they had employees that went through all of the mail. And they would cut out anything that said that you might, they might detect where you were and what you were doing and so on and so forth. So we just didn't contact nobody. Driving a truck and helping with the guns, we could set up, we could park and set up and shoot in 5 minutes. And the old colonel asked, said, I didn't know we had automatic artillery, but we would shoot so fast that he thought it was automatic. No, it's no automatic, it's just one guy would hand you a shell and you would hand it to the guy that's going to put it in the gun, and the guy with the string, he'd shoot it, you know. And it was just bang, bang, bang.
You were also in the Battle of the Bulge?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a bad place. That was the only time we run. And I mean, we run fast. That night, we had, there were 4 men looking 4 ways in a foxhole, you know. And all you could see was your head, and you couldn't look this way and look that way. You had to look one way because they come in on us. We fought along beside the Russians, they was more open than we were. We wouldn't even light a cigarette unless it was covered, you know. They'd build a fire and roast a goat, but we would cook potatoes and eggs and stuff in our steel helmet. We'd take the plastic helmet, take it off the plastic helmet, turn it over and put it on the fire, and we'd scramble eggs in there and cook potatoes and stuff, and then put it back on. We had a second lieutenant Longwell. He would go up in these little planes and find what we need to shoot at, you know, and call back the coordinates, you know. You had a shell over and a shell short, and look out for that third one, because it was going to hit it.
That's right.
But you couldn't, there's no way you could tell the first shot what you was going to do. But he would give a certain coordinates, it would be over. Then he'd give one, it'd be short. And then he'd divide that, and that's what he'd give you. But I know my service number from the military. I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I can remember that number.
Yes, sir.
Because if you was walking guard, everybody pulled guard duty. And if you was walking guard and the officer walked up to you and you'd have to stop him, and then you'd give him permission to come on where you was, and first thing he'd ask you what your number was. So you better know your number, you pull 2 weeks KP. But going into Salzburg, it's supposed to have been real bad, you know, so the convoy stopped outside of Salzburg, and foreign observer went in. And here come that Jeep back and hollering, the war's over, the war's over. I'm home on a remodeled battleship. There wasn't no down under, it was all on deck. And you'd turn loose a piece of toilet paper and it'd blow and maybe hang on something, you know, and it might blow in your face. But there wasn't no, nearly the wind was blowing so hard it nearly blew your food out of your mess tray, you know. But that's the only way we had getting home. They didn't know, they just figured I was dead, you know, and when I showed up, I was a ghost. Seemed like when I went home, they didn't know what to do, or they just spoke. How are you doing? Fine. And of course, I'd been gone so long, and I'd just got married when I left. I had to go up there about 3 times to get my wife to come home with me.